Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Savannah and I'm in the middle of 20 series. So I recently made this new page in my reading journal to track all the series that I'm reading, and that's how I came to the conclusion that I am in the middle of 20 series. I actually did not include the series that I've started but I don't plan on finishing. So technically I've started even more than 20 series. In my defense, I am caught up on some of these series, like ACOTAR for instance. I put this on here because we're getting a 6th book, but it's obviously not out yet, so I haven't read it yet. Anyways, in order to get through some of these series, I thought it would be super fun to do a reading vlog where we read some of the series that I'm in the middle of. For the rest of the books in this video, we'll be kind of like picking them together, but I already know the first book that I want to read for this video, and it is Foxglove by Adeline Grace. First of all, just look how gorgeous this cover is. I am obsessed with it. It's the Barnes exclusive edition paperback and it has these like pinkish purple sprayed edges. They look fabulous on my bookshelf when I'm done with it. I decided that I want to read this book first in this vlog because I actually just bought Wisteria, which is the book that comes after Foxglove in this series. I don't want to have like multiple unread books from the same series on my shelf, if that makes sense. It's just like a mental thing where it'll make me feel better about myself if I only have one book unread from a series on my shelf, you know? It is a YA romantasy trilogy, so this is the second one. Wisteria will be the conclusion to the trilogy. The first book in the trilogy is Belladonna, and Belladonna follows Signa Farrow, who is a young girl who has just been surrounded by death her entire life. She becomes an orphan at a very young age and kind of gets tossed around from caregiver to caregiver because all her caregivers keep dying. So she obviously thinks that she is the cause of their death since she's like the common denominator. You come to find out that that isn't really the case. And death also kind of becomes a whole character in the book. I love when books personify death, like in Addie LaRue. Honestly, Belladonna and Addie LaRue, very similar vibes now that I'm thinking about it. In the first book, you're also kind of following a whole murder mystery, which is super fun because it combines like romance, fantasy, murder mystery. A great combination of all those good genres. Where that book leaves off, you're just introduced to a new character who becomes a much bigger part of this book. And we kind of are having like a love triangle happening, which I don't really know how I feel about. But yeah, it's hard to figure out what I want to tell you guys about a book because I try to keep like my videos spoiler free, and this is obviously the second one in a book, so if I tell you how this is starting, it's gonna give away the first book if you haven't read it yet. But I feel like I've said enough. I feel like maybe you've caught a vibe of what's going on in this trilogy. I'm to part 2 right now, which the first part of the book took place in kind of the same place that the first book took place, and then part 2 is taking place at the estate that Signa has inherited. I also started this book because last night I was kind of in the mood to start an audiobook, and it's available on Spotify, which we love. So I started it last night and I really like the voice actress actually. Sometimes I start an audiobook and I can't keep listening because the voice just really doesn't do it for me, but I really like whoever the actress is for this book. So I actually continued listening to it this morning while I cleaned my apartment, did some other things. But we're honestly a good chunk into this book. I have a few more things I can do today while I listen to the audiobook, and then maybe I'll finish reading the physical copy just because I want to be reading with this in my hands because I think it's so pretty. But yeah, the first thing that we're gonna do while I listen to the audiobook is my nails. If you guys watched my last vlog, you saw that I ordered some fall press-on nails. And I want to put them on. And in order to keep me entertained while I put them on, I'll listen to this audiobook. So I'll check back in with you guys when I have like any more thoughts, or maybe when I'm done with it. Okay, it is a while later and I just finished the audiobook, got to the ending credits, but I realized in this copy of the book that I have, it says, turn the page for an exclusive deleted chapter from the author's original draft of Foxglove. So I thought we could read this little like bonus chapter together, I guess. First, there's a note from the author. Okay, so in Foxglove, we get 2 point of views. I believe in Belladonna, we only get Signa's point of view, but in Foxglove, we also get her cousin Blythe's point of view. And I guess in this little author's note, Adeline Grace said that in her original draft of Foxglove, she wrote chapters in Death's point of view, but those didn't make the final cut. But we do get in this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition one of those original chapters from Death's point of view. So I'm gonna read it now. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about this book. I really liked the twist at the end. It makes me excited to read on to Wisteria because two people that I thought were gonna fall in love in this book, I think are gonna like reluctantly fall in love in Wisteria. I think there's probably gonna be like an enemies to lovers situation going on. But there also is kind of like a lot of explaining that needs to happen in Wisteria in order for there to not be like some loose ends. So I will be very curious to see what I think of that book. But back to Foxglove, it almost felt like it was sort of, what do people say, bridge book. I almost just dropped it. But you know when like there's a book in the middle of the series that is almost there just to tie the first book to the last book? Those are honestly kind of the vibes that I got from this book, and I'm gonna be very curious to read other people's reviews on Goodreads because I wonder if that's just the way I felt or if that's something that a lot of people felt when they read this book. I still really enjoyed it, and I still really think that it's a great series, but I kind of have a feeling that this one is gonna be my least favorite of the trilogy. I'm kind of thinking like 3.5 as far as the rating goes. I did, however, read it in 2 days, so I mainly listened to the audiobook, so that helped me get through. I was kind of like turning on the audiobook anytime I was doing anything or driving anywhere, but that obviously shows that the story was entertaining me, at least because I was wanting to listen to the audiobook. I will catch you guys when we decide which series we're continuing next. Okay, hello. I have you guys here with this backlit lighting to pick the next series that we're going to continue because I have my little stack of my October TBR on my desk. I am already reading this book, so let's pick between Wisteria by Adeline Grace, Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, and Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Actually, let's just pick between these two because we already read a book from the Belladonna series in this video. So let's do a series that we haven't read yet in this video. Both similar vibes, YA mysteries. Which one do I want to read? Honestly, I think I want to read whichever one has less pages. Okay, hello. I just read Killer Instinct for a little bit. I'm now on Chapter 9, page 61, and the Naturals have another cold case to solve. It seems to be interwoven into their lives once again. There's also kind of like another mystery going on because there's a new person that they're reporting to, and she seems to have some secrets and some mysteries about her. So Cassie is trying to figure out what's going on with that as well. But I'm actually going to take a break from this book for a second and pick up this one right here because I've been reading this one for honestly a while in between other books. I'm on page 445, so I have about 200 pages left, and honestly, I would love to get this book finished today. So I'm kind of thinking, because I also want to work on my reading journal, I'm thinking I'll take a break from the Naturals, put on the audiobook of Queen of Shadows, and work on my reading journal while I listen to this. I'm familiar with the Throne of Glass series. This is the 5th book in the series, so I'm really in it now in the Throne of Glass world. It follows Selena Sardathian, who is like the most notorious assassin in the land, except for she starts off as just being a 16-year-old girl. By this book, she's 19? I think she's 19 now. But yeah, in typical Sarah J. Maas style, a whole world that feels so real is developed. There's such cool magic systems. There's a really large cast of characters. Not only are there like fae, but now there's also witches and wyvern and demons and all kinds of crazy stuff. But I am loving this book. Honestly, I've given one book in the series so far 5 stars, which was Heir of Fire, and I'm kind of thinking this might be 5 stars as well too. So I would love to see how it ends. So let's work on my reading journal. I also really want to work on just my junk journal because today is October 1st. So I want to put together kind of like a September wrapped in my junk journal and put together pictures that I took over the course of September. So yeah, let's do that. And then we will come back to Killer Instinct. I think 2 characters are gonna fall in love. Oh my god. I'm excited. This is so intense. No. You guys, everything is going to shit. I'm so scared. Just kidding, something good's happening. Guys, something about the last 100 pages of a Sarah J. Maas book is gonna go absolutely insane. So good, but my boyfriend is in a Zoom meeting in the other room and they're working on my roof right now, so it's super noisy. So I'll update when it's less noisy. For now, I think I'm gonna read more of Killer Instinct. Hello you guys, as you saw, I finished Queen of Shadows this morning and I've been reading Killer Instinct today, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. Once again, Sarah J. Maas really hit it out of the park with the ending in this one, in my opinion. I loved seeing Selena execute so many just like sneaky, perfectly thought out plans. There was also this really big final battle at the end where some like quote unquote bad characters got really good redemption and everyone really came together. I feel like the found family aspect is really coming to play in this book. Similarly to how there's the inner circle in ACOTAR, we have the court in Throne of Glass, and I love a good found family aspect. But yeah, even though there was like a little bit of resolution about some things and the ending was awesome and overall like happy because they were able to achieve what they wanted to in the end of this book, that kind of unlocks even more problems, which makes sense as to how there are 3 more massive books in this series. I'm like, where else is this series gonna go? But yeah, this book definitely had the most romance out of any Throne of Glass book so far. There's also one character that owes another character a life debt, which I'm sure is gonna come into play in a huge way in one of the other books. Kale and Dorian's friendship is so sweet and so special. The last sentence of the last 3 books have been, actually no, the last sentence of every single one of these books in this series so far has been so good. But yeah, that's all I can say since it's literally like a 5th book in a series. Okay, now on to Killer Instinct, which I feel like I've been flying through today. I'm on page 284, so I have a little less than 100 pages, so I'll probably finish this right after I film this clip and then let you know what I think of the ending. I think I told you guys in the last clip that one of the agents in the first book has been replaced by a new agent, and the kids don't really like her, but you kind of get the vibe that she is just a hard ass because she really cares about the well-being of the kids and doesn't really feel like the Naturals is like a morally good program. She feels like the kids should just be out being normal teenagers instead of being like, you know, emotionally traumatized by murder cases. Yeah, there's been some really interesting plot twists. Basically, the Naturals are only supposed to be working on cold cases, but they've really inserted themselves into an active case that they're really not supposed to be messing with. And, you know, once again, of course, this case like has to do with them and their lives. The unsub has committed a few murders, and I really want to know who they are. I have my suspicions, but we'll see if I'm correct. I will say, in the first book in this series, I did not expect the unsub to be who they were. So I would love to be that surprised again. That would be awesome. Okay, we're on the last chapter. I thought the unsub was partially correct, but that's all I'm gonna say, as to not give anything away if you guys want to read this book. But these books are just so fun. As like a certified scaredy cat, they're the perfect amount of mystery and suspense, and honestly, they still spook me out. They still get me a bit spooked. And this is coming from a major scaredy cat. I probably wouldn't read this when it's dark outside, but I think for like most people, this wouldn't scare you at all and would probably just be entertaining. But with our third and last book of this video done, let's go back through what I rated everything, and I can also mark off in my reading journal that I've read more of my series. Foxglove honestly let me down a little bit, so I gave it 3 stars. As you guys saw, I absolutely ate this book up. So Queen of Shadows, I think it's 5 stars. I think this is my favorite in the series so far. And then Killer Instinct. I feel like this is a 4 from me. I'm trying to decide if I liked The Naturals or this one better. I think I maybe liked The Naturals, the first in the series, a little bit better than this one, but I still thought this one was really good too. So 4 stars. Villain Foxglove, Queen of Shadows, and Killer Instinct. Yay! Okay, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for my next Booktober upload. Bye!